Hello YouTube, Cross here. Today, I am starting a new video series for this channel. Welcome to the first episode of ICYMI, in case you missed it. This is an exciting time for Rainbow Six Siege, and a lot of changes are coming to the game all at once with respect to Pro League, the events, qualifiers, new content, and I wanted to make a series where you can find all of the information in one place. Let's get some basics out of the way before we get to the good stuff. This series is going to focus on announcements made by the officials, and I will not be covering any leaks or unofficial information. I want this series to be a place, a safe haven where you come for solid information. For example, today's episode will be covering everything revealed in the esports panel during the LAN finals. With that said, I will be giving my thoughts and speculations on the changes and how that is going to affect the pro scene, how pro players are going to have to adapt with the incoming changes, and how it affects us, the viewers. Now that the formalities are out of the way, let's get right to it. Most of this will be a recap for those who tuned into the live stream, but for those who missed it, stay tuned. The Pro League format is changing. Now, this is not a surprise as this information was revealed during the 6 Invitationals back in February, but the competition is moving to a 6-month interval starting Season 8 of Pro League. Gone are the days of the bracket, and here are the days of double round robin. Now what does that mean? This means that teams competing next season will have more than one chance to prove themselves worthy of being in the league rather than the one and done format that we're used to. This is a welcomed change to the pros as most of the pro players that I've talked to are happy about this. Each team competing will be playing every other team twice, and there will be a total of 14 play days extended over Season 8 of Pro League. So, to simplify, each team will play every week for 14 weeks in a best-of-1 game, and their performance against each of the opponents that they meet twice throughout the season will be a best-of-2. Now the first question on everyone's mind is, well, if the season is going to be 6 months, what does it mean for the DLC operators and maps that are going to be revealed throughout every season? The way that Ubisoft and Esport Division are handling this is to have each team meet their every other opponent once before the DLC release and once again after the DLC release. This seems fair, and we as the viewers get to see how the same matchup play out to the new DLC seasons. So what does this mean for the LAN finals? Because the teams are going to have an entirety of 6 months to prove themselves, only the top 2 teams of every region at the end of the season will be going to LAN. The team in the last place of Pro League will automatically swap places with the top placed team from the Challenger League. The 7th place Pro League team will be playing in the relegation with the 2nd place Challenger League team. As you can see, the remaining teams are either staying or are being eliminated depending if you are in the Challenger League or the Pro League respectively. Next announcement, again revealed at the 6th Invitational, is that the pick and ban phase of the operators are going to be the official format for Pro League moving forward. Each team will be able to ban 2 attackers and 2 defenders. The way this works is the defending team will ban the first attacker. The attacking team will then proceed to ban an attacker and a defender in that order. Then the defending team again will be able to ban the second defender. What does this mean? This means that the teams competing will have to be on their A game to be able to play without certain operators that might be of high impact in the current meta, or certain players are going to need to have the flexibility in playing a different operator in case their op gets banned. This is going to bring changes in the overall skill levels of the Pro League matches being played, and this is also going to be very fun for us to watch. The teams that are sticking to the same strat with the same operators are going to have to change their play styles. For viewers, it is going to make watching the Pro League that much fun, as we might see crutch operators being banned and watch more strategies unfold in the upcoming season. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that teams are going to have 14 playdays over 14 weeks as a best-of-1. Here is the playday format. The teams are going to stick to the same side whether attacking or defending, with halftime interval when the teams swap sides. The first team to reach a score of 6 will end up winning the game. There is no unlimited overtime for this format, so a total of 10 rounds can be played. But Cross, what happens in the case the score is 5-5? I'm glad you asked. Apparently, a score of 5-5 will end up in a tie. From what I understand, there is no tiebreaker during the play days, but in the Pro League finals, there is a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker will follow what we have seen in the past, but the team to win it will only need 3 round wins to end the tiebreaker. And you can see that the games played in Pro League finals will be a best-of-3 instead of the best-of-1. This new format has caused somewhat of a split in the pro players, but majority are receptive of the new change and welcome it. Those are the major changes announced during the esports segment of the stream, and more information can be found at rainbow6.com. Now that the major changes are out of the way, let's look at the roadmap of how the esports is going to look for most of Season 8 and a part of Season 9. We, the viewers, will be able to follow our favorite teams every week for 14 weeks, and since we're moving away from the one and done bracket, we will be able to follow our teams in a full-blown league-style format. Now, the next thing I want to briefly address is why a lot of professional players were freaking out about in their vague and silly tweets and posts over the weekend. One of the major changes that I didn't talk about previously was the change in the site format. The esports division of Rainbow Six had decided that a bomb site for the defenders will stay locked for 2 turns rather than 1 turn, something that we have been used to since Season 1 of Pro League. The new format would have forced the defenders to choose a 3rd site in a map before the first successfully defended site would be available for play. This had a lot of pros saying that they were not happy with it, and this was a bad move for Pro League, and some were also offering to help shape the Pro League after they found out this format change. But after talking with the pros, Rainbow Six has decided to rethink this decision and put the decision of locking the site for 2 turns on hold. Well, for now. Now, this shows maturity on the developer side, whereas the professional players got what they wanted. My 2 cents on this topic is that we could give the new format a chance, maybe not at this time, but in the future for sure. It would be good to see different sites being played, especially with the pick ban phase for operators and how the attacking defending rounds are going to be played. We know that the devs are working hard to rework maps and making more maps viable for comp play, and this would be a step in the evolution of Siege. But I have no strong opinion if the format stays or goes, because I'm not a pro player and I will not be directly affected by the change. Next thing, Paris Major is right in the middle of this, where we will get to see high level competition between the top teams. Now, who's going to be able to compete? This chart shows that Penta have already secured a spot for majors along with all of the teams that have competed in the Season 7 of Pro League. The winner of DreamHack Valencia will also be able to secure a spot along with online qualifiers that will happen over the next month. Since Penta have already secured a spot by winning the Invitational, their spot from Season 7 will go to an additional team from online qualifiers. And the last spot for the Paris Major will be a French team, since the Majors is being hosted in Paris, France. Teams can qualify for the 6 majors by playing in the online ladder and earn as much points as possible by playing as many games as they want. Step 2 is close tournament, where the Step 1 qualifying teams will compete against the challenger teams. The teams will then move on to compete with the Pro League teams that they weren't in the Season 7 lands, and teams that will win this step will secure the online qualifier spot. Last but not least, Challenger League is going to have a similar format we see for the majors. Any number of teams can throw their name in the hat to compete as many times as they want to accumulate as much points as possible to move on to Step 2, where they will compete against the dropouts of Season 7 league teams. The leading teams will have a chance to stay in the league, with the top team replacing the last team in Pro League, and the second team earning a chance to play in the relegation for a spot in Pro League. Alright guys, now that was a lot of information jam-packed into this video. Make sure to like if you enjoyed the first episode in the series, subscribe to see more, and the next episode of ICYMI is going to be the DLC Parabellum. So stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the changes and what you are most excited for. That's it for this one, guys and gals. Until next time, spread some love. Cross out.